So much wonderful women's wrestling has literally just happened since we've last spoke. This is, of course, absolutely wonderful. But oh my goodness, I can hardly catch up. Catch up? Catch up. I can hardly speak. I'm so excited about all the amazing women's wrestling that has happened in like the last month. Oh God, so much is going on. So we're just gonna get into it. Okay. So by the way, Kiara, I am Bix, and this is Don't Call Me Diva, where we talk AEW and affiliated women's wrestling. A lot of affiliated is going to be going on in this episode today. This is episode 45. We are finally older than myself. And we have no time to dilly and or even dally. So if you are new here, you want to know more what's going on with the shenanigans, go fuck off to episode 1 and then come back here. Okay? Mwah. Layla Gray was at WrestleCon, as we knew. It looks like she had the best time. You were all good. None of you were weird. Bravo. She was stunning, as always, and doing me the personal favor in a gorgeous black dress with a puckles for day one and killed it in a recently released photo shoot for Glamour House Studios, in which we all agreed DMCD and DMCD? No, DCMD and Glamour House both agreed that she looked fabulous. Duh. No news yet on how close she is to be returning as we send our bestie all the love and healing, health, goodness to the fabulous Layla. Heal up, Queen. Another favorite, though, wasn't unfortunately having such a good week as our dear Miss Gray was. The Phoenix Queen, Saya Kamitani, faced Sayaka Kurara not in, for her World of Stardom Championship. Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom very recently at Yokohama. The future of Cosmic Angels was also on the line, which is quite interesting because we just learned about Cosmic Angels the other week. But anyway, if Saya won, Cosmic Angels would have to disband. But of course, if she lost, bye bye Red Belt. A battle which lasted a grueling 30 minutes was fought between these two warriors, and in the end, Saya was victorious and broke Saya's amazing winning streak and her like 500 and something, was it? No, 400 and something, 40 odd days of being champion. Sayaka became the new red belt champion, and she also saved Cosmic Angels, who had to have been gloriously, fabulously relieved about that kind of thing, because I wonder if she lost, would they have had to relinquish the tag titles as well? Disbandment of Cosmic Angels? Hmm. Or would they just battle on until they lost them? We would never know because that never happened. Sayaka are the new blood tag team champions, by the way. But the Phoenix Queen has been toppled off of her throne. And Sayaka Kurara is our new World of Stardom champion. Bravo. Well done, madame. Their feud has been intense. And even if you've only been catching up on like these little videos that have been coming up online about it, you know how intense it all has been. And it combined to explode in this match. The entrances are big in Stardom. For the events that are massive, they're even more phenomenal. And they feel so much more dramatic. The costuming, the props, They're all on point. I know I am biased, but I think Saya Kamitani has one of us in the freaking business. It's all dark with smoke. And y'all know how I love me some fire in controlled situations. In other situations, fire scares the living shit out of me. Aura just explodes from Kamitani. She is everything. But I digress. Now that she has lost the red belt, oh, I wonder if Saya will be more interested in wrestling overseas. Because last year, she didn't want to have anything to do with any of that wrestling overseas nonsense. She was focused on defending her red belt, as she did very successfully until then, all over Japan and making it even more of a big deal, which I think she did. So now that she has achieved her goal, I am trying really hard. World champion Tekla versus Saya Kamitani for the AEW World Championship at Forbidden Door. So, if that sounds like a little bit of you, please jump on the bandwagon of manifestation and let's see if we can make this a reality. Because could you imagine? I'm going to try not to because then I'm just going to disassociate and we'll be back in about 5 minutes of me just staring off into the distance. Sayaka had the future, as I said, of her entire stable behind her. And that fueled Kurara to finally defeat Kamitani. At one point, Sayaka almost pulled Saya's head completely off when she hip tossed her to the mat whilst also being latched around her neck in a sleeper hold. And how Saya didn't pass out from that move alone, I have literally no clue. She is tough as thick. Kate and Cosmic Angel members were ringside, as is tradition. And for a lot of the match, none from Hate interfered at all. Until the 25th minute. It, I have to say, was a perfectly executed plan. It didn't get Saya the win, but everything went, as it was meant to. You see, Saya was kind of a bit like woozy, and Sayaka was aiming at her with her devastating spear. Some of the spears in the busy biz at the moment. Kamitani managed to see that her fate was about to plow right through her. And she yoinked the arm of Red Shoes, who who was the ref at the time, and she pulled her in front of him, completely blocked Sayaka's spear. Thankfully, Sayaka also saw this and didn't actually spear herself through Uno. But Saya twists him around, locks his arms, and ducks down in a backpack, making Red Shoes' head kind of fall over. Well, not fall over, but like tip down. So we can't see what's going on. In a flash, Bina is in the ring. She whacks Sayaka in the stomach, completely over the head of Saya and Red Shoes. So he couldn't see a damn shit. Couldn't see a damn shit. Couldn't see a damn thing. But like I say, it didn't. Goddamn thing. I'm gonna turn that off. Go away. Goddamn. Stupid fucking notifications. Where was I up to? 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 Okay. I will go to, it didn't help her with the win, though. Back into that sentence. Oh, damn. All right. Everything should be off and not distracting me now. It didn't help her with the win, though, like I said, and Sayaka still managed to kick out. Eka got to her feet and then nailed Kamitani with the spear, giving her no chance to try and do any other shenanigans. But at 2.9999999, Saya kicks out of the spear. Kurara pulls her battled body up to the top rope and this time just demolishes Saya's body with a beautiful 450 splash. And that was it. Saya Kurara is our 21st World of Stardom champion. As of this day of recording, as of the day of this recording, I should say, YOSH still has the longest combined reign of that belt by a good like 100 days as well. Speaking of Japanese, it seems a certain Aussie does, in fact, know what a certain shining samurai has been saying about her. So Lexi Nair, with all of her hair, doing me the personal favor in a fabulous strapless masterpiece, has Shida and Stat on one side and Harley and Mina on the other, all together at the request of Double D's. Harley has some words for Stat. She's melancholy about the way Stat spoke to her in regards to the whole like not wanting to train her. And you can see that Harley, that really broke her heart. You can even see on Chris that that wasn't really her intention. And the fact that she's hurt her friend doesn't make her feel good, but that's a bit complicated at the moment, and we'll get into that. But Harley's infinite sadness apparently came from Hikaru Shida herself, who is not giving a crap about Harley's feelings at all and is currently openly mocking her to her face. Mina is not having any of this and blatantly calls out Stat on like, what the hell are you doing, Rashida? You clearly cannot trust her. Is calling Shida sus and all of that, which is fair. Which is fair. I mean, some people would be saying the same thing about Mina, but I'm not on the Mina that the Tony train. I like to be different. Hikaru and Mina then start going at it, and Harley has some Nihongo for Shida. Now, full transparency here, I spent way longer than what I should have trying to decipher Harley's Japanese. There were some other people that had done some stuff, but I didn't quite I didn't quite feel like that was the vibe of what she was trying to get across. And my ADHD had like locked on it. So we were going on this ride until I found the answers. And thankfully, I managed to kind of get the gist. So the gist of what Harley was trying was that the only thing bigger than her destiny are her tits, or her destiny is as big as her tits, you know, something along the lines of that. But yeah, you get the gist. As soon as the Nihongo de Giron Suru starts, Stat is like done with all of this and leaves to start her match against the fucking fabulous Becca. Woo! Shida sees her meal ticket leave and walks out on a still very fuming and very yelly Mina Shirakawa. Mina has the same suspicions about Shida that I do. And Hikaru didn't deny a damn thing. But there are so many like potential criminals in AEW. It's ridiculous. AEW, where crimes happen. And one of those people is Marina Shafir. Now, the Death Riders just casually kidnapped Will Ospreay after his match. And we had yet to learn the fate of a dear bro. Well, turns out, instead of being in danger, Will seems to be among maybe even friends. Marina shows us that she has many skills and gives Ospreay a little nick adjustment that seems to have instantly helped Ospreay's feeling in his hand, which he is quite surprised at. Now, we know Marina is terrifying. But holy crap, there is something about motherly Marina that just makes her that little lot. Holy crap. So you can see, like, there's a big head going around in the bruv's brain. He's like, is this woman like fixing me to then hurt me again? Because you know the wrestling people do, it's been known to happen. But the Death Riders are dismissed, and Mox and Will have a rather interesting conversation between the two of them. But that's all very private, and we don't need to like pry on that. So we're just gonna leave that to it, okay? Now, I do love how complex the Death Riders are becoming. Not just out to cause pain and chaos, they are seemingly more deeper than that. And it's very intriguing. I also got to add that Marina looks freaking great. Holy crap. That woman was dangerous before, but now she's dangerous, beautiful, stunning, and she looks amazing with Mox's belt. Hey, she looks gold. She needs some of her own. Like I said, more belts in the women's division. Fuck it. Get me. So we need a hardcore. Like, wouldn't that be brilliant? The only hardcore belt in AEW, and it was in the women's division. I know some people would like pick a head about that, but I would really love that. Come on. Let's do it. Who basically owns her own championship now. I mean, we might as well just start calling it after her from this point. The Fallen Goddess, the American Joshi, the Minion Overlord, the Forever ROH World Champion of, as of this recording, 1,236 days. Athena recently defeated the Pink Devil Arena, our dastardly hate member we mentioned earlier with the whipping to the whoosh. Stardom American Dream in Las Vegas over the Mania weekend, which was a brilliant weekend for wrestling if you're not the wobbly. Lena is 19 years old, and she debuted in ring for Stardom at 11 with her twin sister Hina, who is currently a member of God's Eye, which we actually are talking about a little later. Lena is one-third of Stardom's Artist of, well, one-third of Stardom's Artist of Stardom champion. Buh, that's their trio tag team champion. I get that. I couldn't get that out of my head. I went like that, and then everything wiped my brain. With Fukujin Death and Konami, she held the Future of Stardom Championship for 512 days until losing it to my believe it, Hina. And she was also the New Blood Tag Team Champion with Azusa Inaba. Rina also has an older sister, Hanan, in Stardom, and is with the stable Stars, completely different to Lena. Hanan very recently won the World of Stardom Championship from Konami, Rena's tag partner and stablemate of Hate. It's all entwined. I love it. That's the one thing you can say about this episode. It's all entwined. It's the episode of tangents and strings. But Rina versus Athena was not for any championships. It was just for pure funsies. Athena starts the match in her usual way by holding out her hand in a rather patronizing, regal way. And Rina was having none of it, bitch. Rina slaps the Forever Hands champ away and then loses 2 points for spitting. But she didn't know. She's from Japan. Give her a, we'll give her a little break. Which completely puts Athena off of her game as she struggles to comprehend the actual audacity. Athena by cracking Rina in the face and then sending her to the floor with a drop kick to the face. Rina recovers real quickly though, Joshi, and takes Athena out with a stiff forearm, Joshi, as she comes missiling through the ropes and the outside shenanigans ensue. Things don't go better for the fallen goddess inside the ring either until Rina decides to lose another 2 points, this time for spitting at the ref. And Athena scoops her up for a cheeky little roll up while she's distracted, basking in her dastardly glory. But that won't get away. These two wrestlers literally boot the crap out of each other during this match, and both of them kick hard. Honestly, you think Athena is stiff in ROH and any other match you've seen her in? Watch Athena, well, especially watch Athena fight Rina, but watch Athena and Joshi. Fuck me. Mwah. Nina was a fabulous battle for Athena because she is just as brutal and equally as tough as the American Joshi. Both sets of battle gear were sparkling under the lights, and they created a flurry of sparkles whilst dancing their dance of violence. It was all very beautiful. It was a glorious match that was won by Athena with her gorgeous finisher, the toe trip flip thing into the reverse koji clutch. Woo! Rena tried to hang on. She's tough. She was not gonna fucking give up easily. But eventually she just couldn't get out of that move. I don't know anyone who's been able to get out of that move so far. And she had to tap. Now, Athena, Athena'd, and she had to literally be physically pulled off of Athena by the ref. She then got all up into his face because audacity of stopping the American Joshi, the fallen goddess, the minion overlord, the forever champ of a bajillion days, Athena, getting off and stopping her doing anything rude. She then grabs an ice pack and leaves the ring. One amazing thing I love about Japanese wrestling is like, especially in like Stardom, New Japan, the ice pack. In fact, even no, I saw some in New Japan, TJP, TJWP, no, TJPW as well. So it must be like a Japanese thing. You get a whole ice pack. Oh, that must be lovely. I reckon they should bring that into AEW. It adds, a little realism to the whole thing, And plus, for realsies, that must feel really nice after like a heavy match. Just be like, oh, the cooling next. But anyway, we're not getting into all of that. Wow. On that same show, Windsor defended her New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's title against Saya Ida, a member of Action Stars. Now, we said Lena was tough. Saya Ida, tough. Once again, Windsor just shines fighting Joshi. They start their match in a more respectful way than Rina and Athena did, and they instantly lock up in a test of strength, like two bulls locked in the horns. Now, when they're taller, but their strengths seem to be matched. After a very grueling 7 minutes of battle, Saya eats up multiple stiff forearms from Windsor and returns a few of her own until Windsor's headbutt finally takes her off of her feet, and Ida just kind of crumples to her knees. Not completely out, but crumples to her knees. Windsor also needs to take this moment to regain some stamina as well. And as they get back to their feet, though, the stiff forearms continue. Windsor and Ida continue to beat each other down, with neither giving up until they collide with lariats in the middle of the ring hard. And then they drop down to the mat. The stamina regen on these two wrestlers is badonkalonks, though. Like, they are really well matched. It's ridiculous. It was so glorious to watch. Windsor trying for the sharpshooter again, but Ida got to the ropes and broke out of it. Saya Ida got a beautiful bridging pin on Windsor, but that also didn't work either. Windsor did end up getting the win, though, after a pump handle driver, and as soon as the three was hit, both wrestlers just collapsed from absolute exhaustion. Windsor managed to get to her feet to celebrate her victory, but she was hurting. Ida hits. They end their match just as respectfully as they had started it, and the entire crowd were very appreciative of what they had just seen. Also, on this exact same card, Mina Shirakawa got to battle with her former Nexus Venus stablemates Miyaka and Hanako against Hazuki and Mi Vida Loca. And the Babes of Cosmic Wrath also got to ride again on this pay-per-view against Azumi, Mei Seira, and Starlight Kid, but they were not victorious. So if you get a chance, watch it. Fucking great pay-per-view. Stat was victorious, though, against Becca on Collision, and she had stomped all the way from the promo straight out to that ring, and Sheeta had not been able to catch up. Stat kept her scarf on for the entire match, which I have to say made me really nervous. What do you think Chris always seems to be having trouble with her friends? Do you think it's the way that she communicates? I mean, I feel like she wants to genuinely go it alone for a bit and focus on herself. And I don't think it's in a maliciously selfish way. I think it's in like a purely like good, healthy, selfish way. But every time she tries to do this, she always ends up having strained relationships with the people that she was close to at the time. I mean, in Best Friends, fucking Yuta was there when he was all goody two shoes, puppy dog, wanting to learn. And she just couldn't help fucking try every chance that she got to. And they were meant to be friends. So I kind of blame her for like cuckoo fucking Yuta, but there's a whole different side story. And then, Willow, of course, everything that happened with Willow. I mean, yes, they're good now, but fucker no, that took a while. And now Harley, now she's got Sheeta wrapped up on her. The poor girl, she just wants to focus on herself. But she keeps on ending up in these like really precarious social situations. And that can be good for your concentration. I do feel like she may snap soon. The AEW locker room is tough. And it is only getting tougher. So if she wants to keep herself up in like the world championship orbit, you gotta be you gotta be warrior selfish. But yeah, the current friendship conflict is weighing on her, and she finds herself being the unwilling bestie of Hikaru Shida, who I think she is well aware of what her intentions are. Why she hasn't outrightly told her could be a little bit more complex than just waiting it out, but it's complicated. Ooh, is it complicated? But Chris shakes out the thoughts and gets into battle mode. And she better be prepared, I tell you, because she is battling the absolute menace, Becca, with a three. Becca, with a three, is a vision in sparkly leopard print and wastes absolutely no time by clubbering Stat from behind. You see, Sheeta had finally managed to make it ringside, and like Stat had obviously just seen her. They were having some words. She could have actually been telling her to like back off, but Becca didn't allow them to finish the conversation. Then gets elbowed and enzigiri'd out of her, and then Stat catapults her into the turnbuckles. Becca, as we already know, is tough as folk and has absolutely no regard for her tailbone as she dropkicks Stat on the apron from the top rope and then delights the crowd with a celebratory coochie bounce in the splits. To which Sheeta was quite appalled. I thought kind of expression. Becca, with a three, got yoinked off the apron by the rippling muscles of Stat Daddy and was almost planted into the ring with Saturday Night Fever, but Becca was not going to allow this to be her fate. She wriggles out of Stat's grasp, slams her face into the mat with a flatliner, and then claps her legs around Statliner's neck in a triangle choke and tried to reach for her ankle to lock it in, but she couldn't quite reach it. The strength, the power of the former world champion kicks in. And Stat lifts Becca up off the mat and nails her head into the canvas with Saturday Night Fever. And that was the end of our dear Becca with a three, who being accused of stealing by the wobbly wobblies fucking Carmella on the socials after the match. Like, madam, no, move on. Leave Becca alone. She can do that fucking submission. She can wear fucking leopard print if she wants to. It's not all about you. Sheena tries to embrace her tag partner after the win, but Stack completely blows her off and walks up the ramp. Sheeta is not going to give up on her one, though, and puts a smile on her face before following Stat. She tries the hug again, but Stat is walking backstage and like Sheeta runs up after her. I'm wondering what the breaking point is going to be for all of this, for Sheeta. I can see Chris snapping real soon. She clearly sees what Sheeta is up to and does not trust her one little bit. And she's not happy about being dragged into all of this drama as well. I think Stat should really start thinking hard on this soon. Like, teaming up with Sheeta could be a brilliant for her career. You know, the tag titles would certainly be in their grasp, but that would take her away from her original path. I love Sheeta. Don't do it, Stab. Unless you want to be Dark Stat, and then do whatever the fuck you want. And speaking of the tag titles, Lexi now is looking tiny in between Divine Dominion, who both look just effortlessly stunning. Stop it. Oh my God. They are not worried one little bit about the challenge from Sheeta and Stat, which, if we are honest, was really only put out by Sheeta. Stat was hearing this news at the same time as we were, and so, like, I'm not too sure how locked in she is on that. But Divine Dominion have accepted their challenge, whether or not Stat wants to be there or not, and we may be lucky enough to even see that match coming up on the next Dynamite. Imagine if Sheeta do it. Fucking hell. We'll see what happens. Divine Dominion were not in action this week, but Megan Bayne was and went over to Japan for like the 20th time this year to face Syuri for her IWGP Women's Championship at Stardom's All-Star Grandstand. Grandstand? No, stand. Grand Queendom in Yokohama. Megan Bayne's gear was ever seen this gear before? Ooh, there were like chains and like spiked dragon head boulders on her shoulders, and her AEW tag team belt was around her waist. Siri was in white and silver and with the IWGP Women's title around her waist. She is focused and powerful, very powerful. Her aura just reaches through the screen as she completes her battle entrance. She is phenomenal. Syuri is the leader of God's Eye, but she used to be in Donna Del Mondo with Julia, Mai Sakurai, and Tekla, but ended up feuding with Julia, which led to a match between Syuri, Maika, and Himeka against Julia, Mai, and Tekla, which they won. Things just got worse between Julia and Syuri, and the inevitable happened when they battled for Syuri's World of Stardom Championship. Syuri defended her title successfully, and she left on Del Mondo after that to create God's Eye. A year later, though, Julia would defeat her and then take her world title at Dream Queendom. Seeing how far Syuri has come from then really does make me sad when I think about Julia. She deserves better. Megan Bayne and Syuri have faced off in battle many times in Stardom, so they know each other super well. Bayne gets the first pin after, well, goes for the first pin after flinging Syuri around the ring for like a little, which we all know just activates the Joshi. But Syuri is finding champion buffed Bane a little bit tough to break. It could not have felt great being shoulder barged into the corner and then having your head boxed around by repeated forearms to either side. But Syuri is a strong champion, and once Bane gave her some space, she made that Mega Sis pay. Syuri has nasty kicks and devastating knees and a brutal battle cry. I have to say, she is at the top of brutal battle cries of a list that I haven't compiled, but I might just, and she is at the top of that frickin' list. Holy shit, she's a demon. The Megasis made Syuri fly, but thankfully the members of God's Eye were ringside and they managed to catch their leader before she plummeted to the floor. Bane should have stayed in the ring because Syuri DDT'd her head into the concrete floor and then continued to tenderize the Megasith with more kicks. Bane activated Mega Power while Syuri was trying to choke the life out of her, and she deadlifted Syuri into a side slam. Bane followed it up with some ripcord lariats, but Syuri doesn't take long to regain control, and she glomps onto Bane's arm. If Shida and Stat are smart, they will be targeting that arm in that match. Not that I want them to lose the tag titles. I'm just saying. Syuri gets mega bad here. Moment for Penelope Ford. Syuri gets Megan bad. No, I did it again. Megan Bane. Up onto his shoulders for the one-winged angel, or as it's also known, the modified one-handed electric chair driver. But Bane still kicks out. Bane, okay, seriously, if you can't even watch the entire freaking show, try and find a clip of Syuri doing the one-winged angel to the Megasis. It is a thing of beauty. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing. You can't even imagine. Oh, you just have to watch it. Bane still kicks out, and then Bane yoinks Syuri out of mid-air and slams her into the mat, but that still won't get the pin for Megan Bane. She quickly regroups and then nails Syuri with Fate's Descent. But Syuri ain't going down like that. Bane cannot believe it though. And real shock, like floods her face. Her face almost then got completely rearranged when Syuri kicked it out of oblivion, but Bane still survived. This is the first time in a while Bane has been threatened this badly. Syuri would finally bring the Megasis down with a tight submission. And Megan Bane trying to hold on, but she eventually had to tap. Which, thinking about her potential upcoming tag match coming, this is not good. Like I said, watch for that arm. It was the lefty, I think. The champion and Bane then embraced after the match. It was actually really sweet, like genuine fullness. And then Bane gracefully left the ring. It was quite a beautiful moment, actually. It wasn't quite the beautiful evening and moment for my dear Hate, though. You may have seen a part of my face kind of crack a little earlier when I was rattling off some titles. Well, not only that night did Kamitani lose her red belt, but Konami lost her Wonder of Stardom title to Hanan, Lina's older sister. And Natsuko and Ruaka lost their Goddesses of Stardom championships against Azumi and Miyu Asuka from Neo Genesis. Uh-oh. It's not gonna be nice at the Hate compound this week. Oh dear. And speaking of Eep, Okada Taro got a bit of a scare when an old friend decided to pay him a visit while he was making his announcement in the ring at Stardom American Dream. Tekla gave him the courtesy of playing her championship music first. But that was self. As Taro stares at the entrance ramp, slouched over the top rope, arms folded, mad as hell, awaiting the Toxic World Champion to make her appearance, but Tekla is already in the ring behind him, looking as fast as ever with the Toxic World Championship around her waist. Okada starts to get impatient, perhaps even starts to think that maybe this is just a prank. But he soon comes face to face with Tekla, and fair play to him, he stands up to her until Tekla like just shoves him down to the mat. He's so disrespectful. Our Toxic World Champion stands over Okada and grabs the microphone out of his hand, calls him a little bitch, among other things, to his face, and tells him that he is not welcome here. And then basically calls out this fantasy booking that we had some fun rabbiting on with a couple of weeks ago, and threatens to bring the Sisters of Sin with her to Japan and hunt him down. And so it turns into a beautiful combination of both of our fantasy booking that would then lead to Saya versus Tekla at Forbidden Door. Come on, people, jump on my bandwagon. But now, not the now. But now that she has lost a red belt, it may be Sayaka Kurara instead, sticking up the stardom. While we're on the subject of the Triangle of Madness, Tekla and Sky Blue took on Alex Windsor and Persephone on Collision, and the Triangle of Madness came to the ring minus Julia. Rude. Persephone are an insane dream team, literally dangerous. Them as a trio with Hater, Danger Mouse. Damn. And the triangle, oh no, I already did that. And they both have the bonuses in this match of being champions. Will that help? Blue steps up to Alex Windsor, and she don't give no fook about the imposing presence of Windsor. Blue steps up to Alex, and the Triangle of Madness try to get some sneaky double team going. But every time, Windsor and Persephone were too smart, and they would cut them off. Didn't stop them from trying, no. And eventually, Tekla would get Windsor's attention, so Blue could crack the back of her head with a beautiful step-up knee strike. Woo! Sky Blue and Tekla have a lot of fun with Windsor in this match. And Windsor, unfortunately, finds herself cut off Persephone. The Triangle of Madness are brilliant at taking the awaiting tag partner out and also isolating the other one they are targeting more. It has been insanely successful for them, and they're just only getting better and better. We get a taste of what a singles match between Persephone and Tekla would be like. And now I instantly want that to be a thing. Like, give me a series of that. I feel like oh, I don't know. I got a vibe. They didn't do too much, but I just got a vibe, and I was like, give this to me now. Windsor gets her revenge on Blue by almost chopping the skin off of Sky's chest, but Blue is tough and almost nails Windsor with code Blue. But Persephone puts an end to all of that. Right. Tekla and Alex end up brawling on the outside while Persephone and Blue battle it out in the ring. Sky is doing her best against the CMLL World's Championship. No, not against the belt, the actual champion, but she soon finds herself in danger when Persephone gets her up in the crucifix powerbomb. Now, Tekla has gotten rid of Alex Windsor, though, throwing her into the barricade rather rough, and scampers up onto the apron just time to perfectly distract the ref. But for what reason? How is that gonna, is it gonna stop the pin? What's going on? Nah! spooky one herself is here. The amazingly evil Julia Hart has appeared out of literally nowhere and has slid into the ring and is now slowly approaching eight Persephone. Now, potentially, Persephone could have just stopped what was going to happen next by like just throwing Blue at Hart. But instead, that dressed in all black, doing me the personal favor, Julia Hart sweeps Sky's hair to the side and spits the black mist into the eyes of Persephone. No, that is not substitute losing 2 points. Different kind of spit. As Persephone is bent over from the burning pain seeping into the skin around her eyes and also into her optic nerves, Sky runs off the ropes, nails a blind Persephone with the code blue, and the Triangle of Madness win the match. The Black Mist is back, baby! YOSH! I want the Triangle of Madness to terrorize Stardom so bad. It would be fucking awesome. Wouldn't it be awesome? And speaking of things that are fucking awesome, Kid Bandit had her last match a few weeks ago, but she is not done with wrestling. Oh, no, 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 no. Kid Bandit has turned her attentions to her very new transgendered wrestling company, T4T Wrestling. They will be having their very first event on July 3rd in Los Angeles. And already Sunny Kiss, Nyla Rose, and Dark Sheik have been confirmed. If you're in the area, go. The front row, I think, would probably already be sold out by now. And whilst we are on the subject of the amazing We Miss the Fuck Out of You, Nyla Rose, she recently battled in a tag match for GCW. And the GCWG, that's not a G, that's a J. Now, do you ever get letters just like changing in front of you? I have 3 and 5 issues. Now, we're not talking about me. JCW, and the JCW women's title was on the line. Nyla and J-Rod won the match. And I'm kind of guessing maybe that since J-Rod was the one who pinned Danny Moe for the win, that was why J-Rod then became the champion? Because I did wonder how that would work. Alice Crowley, though, has to be pissed because she was the champion and she wasn't even pinned and lost her title. I'd be pissed. Woo! Nyla Rose is currently in Japan and has her sights on some Japanese gold. On May 5th, Marvelous Pro Wrestling, a wrestling promotion I have never heard of before, but is out of Funabashi in Chiba, will be having their Marvelous 10th anniversary commemorative event in Yokohama. Okay, yo, if you want wrestling, go to Yokohama, okay? Rose is bringing company with her in the form of Eve's Nightshade. And she has challenged the AAAW Tag Team Champions Maria and Rico of Magenta to a match for those titles. Queen Aminata will also be there to compete in an 8-man tag team match, and the amazing Miyu Yamashita will also be fighting in a match against Senka Akaska, who is the current Sendai Girls Junior champion. And even though this is her first year of ring action, she is bonkers good, so freaking talented. Remember that name, look for her in the future. And I really hope Mayu Iwatani has a tag partner in mind for this event, because as of this recording, she is in a tag match against Itsuki Aoki and Mio Momono in a handicap match. So, ganbatte, Iwatani-sama. I hope you get a partner. And ganbatte, Nyla Rose-sama. Get yourself some Japanese gold, baby, and tell us all about it. That'll be coming up in, what is it now? So as of recording, it's the 29th. 6 days. Yes, I did have Shut up. We went frickin' everywhere today. Boy, did you have a good time? I had a good time. I'm even sweaty. It's autumn, it's kind of cold, and I made myself sweaty. So there you go. I had a great time. Still didn't get a goddamn chance to catch up on our lunch. So I haven't gotten my Trish Adora fix yet. But hopefully we can rectify that next week. But until then, let's fall over. Tell me what your thoughts are on our discussions this week. If you so wish, you can leave them as little comments. It is appropriate to wherever you are. And if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe while you're there, that would be awesome. I would be very grateful. You can find this disheveled mesh? Am I a mesh? No, I'm a mess. At thread, at Bex underscore best step. And I'm also under a tree doing absolutely nothing on Blue Sky at Bex hyphen best step. Follow the show on TikTok. Diva show. You will then get little clippity clip clips of the books and Bex show as well on there. Thank you as always to Shane, who is my excellent producer, editor, promoter extraordinaire. He is an amazing creator himself. Go check out the Ethos Media Network on YouTube. Join us at sickosclub.com and also at Sickos Club on Threads. Y'all have never met a most inclusive, smart, kind of talented bunch of silly sausages who also happen to really enjoy wrestling. This has been Don't Call Me Diva. What's wrestling rules? You don't be a dick.